Hiya. Have you ever gone bananas? What sort of things make you go bananas then? Football? Mango milkshake? Banana and peanut butter sandwiches? Ugh. Go on. You can tell me.
I'm absolutely mad on football and I really, really like hockey.
Mad about EastEnders. Chocolate, I love eating chocolate.
Playing the computer.
Writing songs.
Chicken curry.
Making books. Sausages and chips from the chippy.
Did you know that lots of people have gone bananas about God? Well, what makes people go bananas about God then? I suppose that if God is God and he made all this, then going bananas about him, living your life to please him, is actually quite a sensible thing to do. Do you know what the Bible says?
Love God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength.
So, God wants us to go bananas about him. But as you can see from today's Bible story, just because you go bananas about God doesn't mean that life is always easy. Introducing the story of Noah. Noah was a very old man when all this started happening to him. He might have looked something like this, or he might even have looked like this, or he could even have looked like this. The fact is, we don't know what Noah looked like because he lived such a very long time ago. But the important thing about Noah is not what he looked like, but that he was a good man. And the Bible says he lived in fellowship with God. That means he was God's friend. Anyway, being God's friend in those days meant being in a minority of one. Everyone else at that time seemed to be mean and manky, sly and shifty, nasty, crafty and generally unpleasant. It was a dark, horrid old world. And God thought, I can't bear all this. This isn't what I created the world for. The world was meant to be a place full of colour and light and happiness, not this. And God regretted making men and women. He wished he'd never even thought of the idea in the first place. What an awful thing, that God should feel like that. Then, God looked at Noah. Thought God, Noah. The rest of the world is rotten, but Noah's not. I will take Noah and I will do something wonderful with him. I will use Noah as my rescue plan for the whole world. So, God said to Noah, Noah, I want you to build a boat. Oh, right, Lord, said Noah. What kind of boat do you want? Is it to be a big boat or a little boat? More of a fishing boat kind of thing? Well, actually, said God, what I had in mind was 140 metres long, 23 metres wide and 13.5 metres high. Big enough to hold you, your wife, your whole family and at least 2 of every known animal in the world. Oh, I see, said Noah. Do you have something in particular that you'd like me to do with this boat then, Lord? Yes, said God. I want you to live in it. Said Noah. You see, said God, I'm going to send down a lot of rain. I'm afraid I'm going to have to wipe out every other living creature on the face of the earth. What? Said Noah. Yes, said God, I know. But however sad it makes you feel, it makes me feel worse. These were the people that I made in the first place. I thought they were so beautiful. But you are going to be my rescue plan for a new world. I will start the world all over again using you. Oh, said Noah. What else could he say? He'd always been a good man, but he'd never been particularly daring. Sounded an odd thing to do, to build a boat 140 metres long by 23 metres wide and 13.5 metres high, and to live in it with your whole family and at least 2 of every known animal while the rest of the world was wiped out. But you see, Noah was God's friend, and he wanted to be God's helper. God is asking me to do this, he thought, and I don't want to let him down. So, Noah trusted God and went completely bananas. Noah sawed and sawed until he could saw no more. His fingers stung and his back ached. He had built the huge boat just as God had said, and now it was nearly ready. Mrs. Noah and their 3 sons, Shem, Ham and Japheth, were loading up all the animals. It was quite a job. At last, they were all in. Noah scrambled up the gangplank, and God closed the door. It was very dark inside the boat. It was dark and smelly and wet with the breath of the animals. It wasn't very nice inside. "How long did God say we'd be in here for?" asked one of Noah's daughters-in-law. Noah and his wife began to wonder whether they'd been a bit silly. Then, the rains came down. It poured and it poured and it poured and it poured. All the earth turned to mud, and the mud turned to water, and the water turned to sea, and the sea got deeper and deeper. Even the mountains were covered, and everything and everybody living on the earth drowned. All the animals drowned, and all the people drowned as well. God had wiped the whole lot out, just as he said he would. But Noah and his wife were safe inside the boat. Noah and his wife and family and several tons of animals were all safe. For 150 days, they did nothing but sit there and wonder what it would be like when they got out. "There won't be any houses or anything, will there?" said Mrs. Noah. "Never mind," said her son Shem. "At least we'll have plenty of animals to keep us company." "Oi, get off me, you stupid thing," he added, as something big and hairy came and sat on his foot. The rain kept falling, and the boat kept floating, day after day after day. Then, one morning, the boat lurched. They must have hit the top of a mountain and run aground. Well, there had to be ground out there to run aground on. Noah opened a little window in the top of the boat. It had stopped raining, and the flood was going down. He sent out a dove, but the dove came back because the waters hadn't gone down enough for it to land. A week later, he sent the dove out again. This time, it came back with an olive branch in its beak. Things were growing. Well, that was it then, really. The story's all over, bar the shouting. A few weeks later, Noah, his wife, his sons and their wives, and a great load of animals, birds and creepy crawly things all piled out of the boat as fast as their legs or wings could carry them. "At last, we're on dry land," cried Shem. "Woohoo, we're out!" cried Japheth. "That's the last time I'll go on a boat trip with you," cried his wife. "Quick, let's go off and start building a house." Noah and Mrs. Noah just looked at each other and smiled. "What does God's rescue plan for the world look like?" asked Noah. "It looks like us," Mrs. Noah replied.